For those of you who don't know, but you probably know, my name is Malia, and I am with Inner Perfect. And we do these lives pretty much every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So, welcome. Do a little smudgy smudge here with some Palo Santo. I had, a pretty chill day, but definitely am feeling a little emotionally drained today. So, how about you? Of course, you are always welcome to participate in the live, make comments, ask questions, and we will address those things. And I do upload this video kind of edited down a little bit, but kind of cut out like this stuff. But I do post on my YouTube channel, which is Inner Perfect 1111. So still trying to grow a little bit of a following there on YouTube as well. So if you like these lives, hey Dawn on Facebook, how are you? Hope you are doing good. Happy holidays to you. But if you like what I'm doing here, I'm also, like I said, posting these videos on YouTube, but I'm posting other things as well. So yeah. All right. So let us talk about kind of what's going on. We just had our final full moon of 2023 yesterday. And I know we've had a lot of rain here in East Tennessee, and it's kind of cloudy. I don't know if you were able to see the full moon, but I know myself definitely felt this full moon, And as you know from previous lives that we've done, I like to look at the sidereal or Vedic astrology placements of whatever we're talking about astrologically, and then also the tropical and western placements. So for a lot of us kind of being in the west, you might have seen a lot of talk about the full moon being in Cancer, and Cancer is the crab. It really governs family, our sense of family ties, family relationships, our emotional body, our emotional self, how we feel safe, how we feel protected, with our tough outer shell and our soft, squishy underbelly. With Vedic or sidereal calculations, the full moon was in Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign, Cancer being a water sign. And Gemini governs many things, but communication being one of them. So, kind of curious to hear from you all if you have any commentary about kind of what energies seem to be more prominent for you over, yesterday, the day before, even today, as we're kind of in this bubble of full moon energy. And, see if you were feeling kind of pulled in kind of one direction or the other. Were you feeling more of that energy of communication? And we do have Mercury still in retrograde. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you had any kind of struggles like with communication, or kind of feeling like you were really being heard, or you were communicating clearly, maybe there were some just kind of like enhanced challenges with communication, which would be more of the kind of Gemini energies with the sidereal placement. Or if you felt like you were feeling more either challenged or enhanced with the Cancerian vibes. Like I said, themes with family, with how you feel safe, how you feel protected, and all of that. I know for me, I feel like I was feeling more of the Cancer energy, that's kind of been more, more prominent over the last few days. Of course, we're just getting through Christmas and all of that, but looking at themes too with present state of family, but then also, past themes, which Mercury retrograde can also kind of bring that stuff up too. So we're kind of getting it from a couple of different angles right now, as we always are with astrology, right? There's many planets and asteroids and all these things that do affect us, and the moon and the sun and all those things. But I know for me, it was definitely feeling kind of more of um, the energy of like revisiting themes and things that definitely are calling for healing, a revisit to like where I am now, where I've been in the past, what kind of inventorying a little bit, like what kind of where I'm at, but then also what might need to be, looked at again or looked at from a different angle too, right? So if you all have any, comments or questions or anything, feel free to pop in anytime. Um, and so many times, I guess, I'm sure that all of you are kind of in different camps or in different places as far as what you may do for like a full moon, what you may do to kind of work with those energies. Maybe you don't work with them at all. We still feel them regardless. But, so many times when we think of a new moon, which of course is when there's really no lunar light in the sky, we see that as a new beginning, a fresh start. And then when the full moon is here, there's this illumination, there is shedding light on things, right? Kind of astrologically, energetically, what's going on. It may become more apparent or more clear or more intensified, right? So if there are things that need to be cleared or healed or that you need help with or, need to understand more, that intensity, that push of the full moon may make things feel more intense. You may feel them more strongly. And it's also a beautiful time. It's not like it's necessarily bad. It can just be, the energy can just be big because they're really getting that push. So, as we are just kind of coming out of the solstice and Christmas holiday, that may have been great for you. I hope it was. It, can also be a very challenging time for people. Family dynamics, relationships, nostalgia, and then like money, hustle, bustle, all of that stuff. It can be kind of a weird mix of things that we're trying to juggle and we're all trying to deal with. I am very grateful for the way that I spent Christmas this year. It was so chill. It was so relaxing. Just had dear people, family over at my house, and we cooked and we ate and we relaxed and watched Christmas movies, and it was just like a really cozy, relaxing day for the most part, and I am really, really grateful for that. I can't recall any other Christmas that has ever been that way for me. I don't, and surely I've had Christmases before where maybe I didn't go somewhere or, I don't know, but it was like so peaceful and chill. And like I said, I'm so grateful for that. It is exactly what I needed, and it was really a great day. So I hope that you all are able to enjoy, your holidays, and that you weren't just rushing around busy. But sometimes that comes along with it too. So if I don't have any comments or questions, I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is kind of twofold. But let us talk about Jupiter for a moment. And now Jupiter is known as the planet of luck. So when Jupiter aspects certain other planets or celestial bodies, or has certain interactions in the sky, there are times where things can flow more fortuitously than not. And we have actually had Jupiter in retrograde when the retrograde is done, which I'll give you that date in just a moment, it will have been a total of 117 days retrograde. And, this goes for all retrogrades. It's not like the planets are literally going in reverse, but um, as the orbit of the planet and how the Earth moves in the solar system, there is an appearance that the planet does have a retrograde or backwards motion during its retrograde period. And so, 117 days, it's almost 120 days, it's almost like, 4 months that Jupiter has been retrograde. And retrogrades aren't necessarily a bad time. And like I said, that Jupiter does affect our luck. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we were in an unlucky energy. It could have been that way for some people. It could have, depending on your astrological chart and just kind of how, you're kind of personally affected by Jupiter retrograde. But it is a slowing down, it is a review, it is kind of a time to get your ducks in a row type energy before the direct motion. Now, Jupiter will be going direct on December 30th. So just in a couple days. Today's the 27th. So on December 30th at 9:12 p.m. And when it stations direct, it kind of pauses, because it's been appearing to go retrograde and reverse. So there's kind of this pause and this stillness, and sometimes when the energy is just kind of still and held in that stationing energy, it can kind of just be like this positive, good, this bearing down energy of like Jupiter luck, okay? And then as it kind of begins its forward motion again, then everything just kind of speeds back up, until it goes retrograde again. So there are certain astrological signs that I think that all of us, whether, regardless of what your zodiac placements are, we will see an increase of luck with this Jupiter stationing direct and then going, in forward motion again. But there are certain signs that will be affected by that a little bit more. And, but it does depend on if you're using Vedic calculations or if you're using tropical calculations. But with sidereal, which is how Vedic astrology uses calculations, is where the stars are actually presently in the sky. Jupiter will be stationed direct in Aries, which we know is a fire sign. It's very passionate. And so any other fire signs with Vedic placements, any other fire signs that are within, if you have an 10, 11, or 12 degree placement of any fire sign in your birth chart, you'll see a little bit more of that push of luck. And then also with Libra, because Libra is opposite of Aries. Okay. If you want to kind of dig into that further, you can. Joni Patri is a Vedic astrologer that I follow. She has stuff on all platforms and on YouTube. She had a recent video that talked about Jupiter going direct and kind of discussed those degrees and signs and all of that. But then when we look at the tropical or Western calculations, Jupiter will be going direct into Taurus, which is an earth sign, and also, ruled by Venus. So then you would have kind of those earth sign aspects that would maybe look at more of just a little bit of a fortuitous push with Jupiter going direct. So that's like more than half of the zodiac. So I think that all of us are going to see, a bit of an increase in luck. And it's kind of like I look at something like this, like with a Jupiter going direct. It's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune card in tarot. It's not that we have bad luck all the time unless we see the Wheel of Fortune card, or unless, there's like a Jupiter influence, a heavy influence, astrologically speaking. But it is just like the Wheel of Fortune card in tarot. How I always interpret that is that it's an especially good time. It's an especially good time to say, I'm going to maximize this, good luck, good fortune. It could have to do with money, abundance. It could be like just kind of getting almost like just a surprise yes. It could have to do with your job or just, some kind of opportunity or like a windfall. And so, like the Wheel of Fortune is just saying it's a really good time to make these choices, make these decisions, kind of take that leap of faith because you kind of have this karmic, this positive luck that is really supporting you right now. And that's how, I'm kind of looking at this energy of Jupiter going direct again. And the cool thing is that Mercury, which has been retrograde, the retrograde period is not as long as a Jupiter or like a Venus retrograde because Mercury is a much more close to us and it's a faster moving planet. But Mercury goes direct on January 1st and it's at 11:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have just had a full moon. And we have Jupiter going direct on December 30th at 9:12 p.m. And then we have Mercury going direct on January 1st at 11:37 p.m. Now, with any retrograde versus, direct station, we always do have a shadow period, meaning that there's still kind of a little bit of a fog, of that energy that, we just, kind of might see things, the fog clearing over that time. And I think that, let me see. Okay, so for Mercury, the shadow period is through the 20th of January. But it's like we're going to start seeing things kind of letting up. And I see Jordan says that he receives all good luck with money. Yes, like put your affirmations there, putting it out into the universe is perfect. I wish you those things, Jordan, and more. Better than you can even imagine. So I feel like with these planets both going direct within just a few mere days of each other, and the start of the Gregorian calendar, 2024 on January 1st, it's like, man, are we being given just an amazing, beautiful kind of kickoff, for 2024, like. And like time's not real and all that kind of stuff, but we still do work within these constructs and these understandings of time and space and all of that. And yeah, there's some pretty good things like lining up, right? So I don't know if you all do like dream boards or vision boards or things like that for intention setting. Diana, one of our providers in our community space, had a vision board workshop this month, earlier in the month, and she is going to do another one in January later on in the month. And then Candy, who's another provider, is also going to do a workshop with intention setting. So those opportunities are coming up in January. So don't feel like you've like missed the boat or anything like that. But I feel like this entire month that's coming up is really like has so much potential to really, really like go off with a bang, but like beautiful fireworks, in a good way. I, I do believe or feel that, as we have been for quite some time, we are still going through a big shift and, evolutionary process. And it's not like, oh, 2024 new year, like everything's gonna go back to normal or everything's gonna be great and perfect and fine. I mean, we are in the energy of change and revolution and breaking down old outworn patterns and structures and constructs. And there are sure to be over the next year and few years some perhaps very alarming and scary times that come up as these things kind of rise to the surface that need to be identified and cleared. But we are making amazing progress as humans, as beings on this planet who have chosen to be here at this time. And we're starting to, although it may not seem like it, we're starting to really, really see Like the veils have been lifted. We're really starting to see a lot of things, and there is phenomenal change that is happening. It may still feel like it's kind of like bubbling and brewing, but it is happening, and it is in you, and it's in me, and we are the way showers. So as much as I feel and know that there more than likely will be challenging times ahead for a lot of people. Perhaps me, perhaps you. But there are there's a potential for amazing growth and amazing healing as well, because that's where a lot of these issues that we may or may not hear of on the news, but a lot of these things that are coming up and that people are becoming more keen on, they're becoming more aware of, those things have been going on, and they've been going on for a long time. And I don't know if, I guess there was a time and a place for some of those structures. There were lessons, maybe not what to do, but there are lessons in that, but it's like, we have totally outgrown those structures and constructs and ways of being and looking at things and all of that, and it is crumbling, broken, completely doesn't work, yet we're still trying to cobble it together and make it work, which is why it's really not working. So lots of healing, lots of growth. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's scary, but we're getting through it. And the year 2024, when you calculate that year, the number in numerology, it is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, which would be 8, which is the number of infinity. Right? I think that we are learning, and we will have a more clear understanding of our connection to the bigger picture, not just on our planet, but universally, cosmically speaking. The idea of division and this camp, that camp, this party, all of these different factions that we are told are real or right. And hey there, Miss Martha Smith, it's good to see you live again too. Thank you. But as far as this division and duality, up and down, it helps us understand where we're at, right? And we've talked about that before in the lives. But this division of this is good, this is bad, or this is better than this, or this is right, this is wrong, and so much of those equal opposites are used by whoever's running the show, I was gonna say that, just to divide us. Because if we are divided, if we are infighting, if we are, focusing on all of, I don't necessarily want to say political stuff, but it can be politics, it can be, rights, and all of these things, right? Anything where it's this versus this, and they're fighting infighting, right? If we're doing that, then we're not really paying attention to that the system's broken, and yet we're still being forced to play along with it. But then also, we're not focusing on, just like an 8 on its side, an infinity symbol. It's just that endless loop. We're not focusing on that we are all connected. We are all the universe experiencing itself. We can come together and appreciate our differences just for perspective, but say, we are still the same thing. We're all still part of the same thing. Let's work together. Let's heal this together. Let's grow this together. Because frick, if we united, if we joined forces, for the, for that, with that cohesive energy, there's nothing stopping that. Right? But if we're fighting and we're disagreeing and we're squabbling, and I'm not saying some of these causes aren't a big deal or important, but I'm just saying kind of boils down to that, then we're totally distracted and we're using all of our energy on that instead of coming together and realizing that we are all connected and part of this universe, experiencing itself. So I think that 2024 has a lot of potential. For sure. And I think I kind of went on a tangent there a little bit, but that's what I do. But I was starting to say, because I said something about a vision board or a dream board, is that I actually started working on one. It was maybe like it was just after my shopping bazaar. So like after the second week of December, I got out like all of my magazines that I'd saved, which I had been on a big like purge and cleaning spree pretty much all of 2023. And I remember thinking, because I had the stack of magazines, like, like the good ones, like the ones that you kind of want to save. And I almost tossed them because I was like, I don't, they're just taking up space, whatever. But I was like, okay, I'll just put them away in a cabinet, so they're just not on my coffee table or whatever, and I'll just save them for a little bit. So when I was going to work on my vision board, I was like, oh my God, did I throw those away? Because sometimes, when you're like really cleaning, you're just like throwing it all away, and you're like, ooh, maybe I should have saved that, right? So anyway, luckily I saved those magazines, and even I had like some catalogs, old catalogs like from the shop, which is like awesome, because my witchy vision board is going to have all the cool witchy symbols and pictures and things like that on it. So catalogs with all of the metaphysical supplies in it. I was like, I'm cutting that out, I'm cutting that out. It was like awesome. And thank you, Jordan, for your 99 stars. Yeah, so like I cut out pictures and phrases and words and colors and all the things that just really spoke to me. I ended up making like a trifold thing, and then I just thought, well, I'll just have like 1, 2, 3 panels I can open up. Well, I ended up like filling the entire back too, so it's like kind of like 6 things. I just couldn't stop once I started, so I cut out all these things and glued all these things. And then I have a little bit of white space in between some of them, and so now like I'm working on filling all of that with like handwriting, like like little mantras, or just like I've written yes a lot, just like yes, yes. I'm just gonna bring this stuff in. So it's a good time. It is a good time to do that now. It's a good time to do that, even after the start of the first of the year. But yeah, like do something like that if you feel inspired to do so, or if you want some guidance, want some help. Like I said, we do have another vision board workshop, and then an intention setting workshop coming up more towards mid or towards the end of January. So, and those will be on our calendar soon. So anyway, if you are like doing a little like New Year's cleaning, but you have some cool magazines or something, like maybe tuck those aside and use them for your vision board, project. Let's see, there was something else I was going to say too. Oh, yeah, but it was the day, this is just a little Mercury retrograde story. The day that I started my vision board, or I was going to start my vision board, I kind of done some things around the house. The shop was closed. I think it was Monday, and the shop had been open through Saturday. So it was Monday, and I was like, I don't have any glue sticks or like any glue. So I told Evan, my little boy, I was like, so we're just going to get gas, because I was like almost out of gas. And I was like, we're going to swing by the shop and get some stickers and a couple other little things like the catalogs that I mentioned. And then we're going to run to like the Dollar Tree or somewhere and get some glue sticks. And then we're going to come home, and I'm going to start on this vision board. And if you want to make one too, Evan, cool. He ended up just like using some stickers and made some fun stuff. And he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So, anyway, so I got gas, and we had a little like kind of pay it forward nice experience there. That was awesome. Then I stopped at the store, got the stuff that I wanted, got in my car, and I have stick shift because stick shifts are freaking awesome. I got in my car. I go to pull out of the parking lot at the store, and I put my clutch in, and I heard this horrible noise and smelled a weird, I don't know, smell that wasn't good. It was not normal. And I was like, oh no, my clutch. And I'm like, what do I do? And I was like, well, there is a car place, which is Sealy Automotive, which is like literally like right next door on Colonial there to the shop. And he changes my oil and has worked on my car before. He is fantastic. Eli at Sealy Auto is great. So I was like, I don't think I need to drive to go get glue sticks. I think that I just need to whip it in here and say, Eli, can you look at my car for a second? Something's wrong with my clutch. So I pulled in, went in, and he starts the car up. He's like, let me drive it for a second. And he gets in and he puts the clutch in. He's like, yeah, it's not even drivable. I was like, oh my gosh. So even though it was a very Mercury retrograde thing for my clutch just to completely seize up, luckily, it was after I'd had the shop open for 2 weeks, because obviously replacing a clutch is, kind of it's not an oil change. So I felt grateful that I had money to actually fix my car. I was grateful that the moment that my clutch seized in the housing or whatever, I don't know, that I was able to just like literally whip it in, to the service station. And he was able to look at it and he was like, this is the last week we're open. We're closing on Thursday for the holidays. I've got one spot. I think I can fit you in before the end of the week. And I was like, thank goodness. And I was like, okay. So, and he was actually able to get it like in like a day, or day and a half. Like it was fantastic. Again, like I said, Sealy Automotive, he is great. Please go see him if you need any work done in your car. He also loves Subarus, but he can work on anything. But even though it was like oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde transportation issue, it was like it happened in the best way possible, which I was so grateful for, right? And when I'm in there, Eli's wife, she, runs the front and everything. She homeschools her kids. The kids are in the back. And I'm like, well, buddy, I guess we'll have to go home and make do with something else. Like we were just going to go get glue sticks. She's like, glue sticks? You need glue sticks? I got a bunch in the classroom. So she gave us like 3 glue sticks. So it was like perfect. I didn't even have to go to the Dollar Tree or Walmart or anything. So, anyway, that was my Mercury retrograde, but grateful for how things played out story. But I am excited to see how Mercury going direct and Jupiter going direct and the start of the new year, how this positive energy, I feel like it's just really going to compound in a good way. And I think that there's a lot of potential, not just for me, but for all of us. Okay. So, and yes, I am so grateful that it was literally next door. Like I could have like pushed my car if I had to, but like, yeah, it was like the best timing possible. And so, one final thing, I guess, that I want to let you know about is that, well, 2 things, I guess. So the shop will be open January 9th is our next, shopping bazaar. Let's see. Martha says 12/31/23. Yeah, those are some pretty good numbers. Yeah, for sure. So that'll be 3, 4, 7 plus 5 is 12, which is 3. Yeah, I always love adding numbers together for the numerology too. So the shopping bazaar in January will be on the 9th, and it'll be that week, Tuesday through Saturday. Okay. So that's happening. And then also, kind of not last minute, but whatever, sometimes I fly by the seat of my pants. We are not going to have candlelight yin yoga on Monday the 1st, but we are going to have a community circle for the New Year's celebration. And I know Jaylene, who is one of our yoga instructors, she's going to be there, but she's going to be a participant. And I'm going to be leading the community circle at 7 o'clock on New Year's Day. Okay, so January 1st. And Jaylene and I had, because she normally does yoga on Monday nights at 7. And she's like, I don't know if we should do yoga, it being New Year's Day and all of that. So we were talking about maybe collaborating something or whatever. But we just decided that, I was just going to lead a circle. Myself, and she would be there as support and participating as some of the other RSVPs have already come through. I know some of you are already planning on coming. We still have room for other people, but like this morning I worked on a magical playlist. and I built it in iMovie, but I'll be able to hook up the movie, I mean, it's on my phone, to our Bluetooth speakers, and it's going to be like a magical experience. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about it. And it probably took me like a lot longer to put all that together and like save the music and like, piece it all together and all of that, than like people who do that all the time. I probably spent a couple hours on it. But I'm really excited with how it turned out. Yeah. So I've already gotten that part done. And I don't know if who's watching here, but for any of you who have come to any of the community circles or moon circles that I put on, they're all different, but there's always some music, there's some meditation. I do a bit of a Reiki share, usually get out my medicine drum. And we have these awesome LED candles that are beautiful, that just light up the community space in the most perfect, serene light, and I'll be using those. So please, if you feel in any way that you are drawn to, kind of be in a supported circle on New Year's Day, it's always quiet and serene and peaceful and introspective. It's not like we're having a big old knockdown drag out party, although it is a good time. You always feel great afterwards, okay? But please, RSVP. I mean, you can just come, but because I want to kind of have the space set up for everyone, for any of you that are like, yes, I do want to come to this, if you could just RSVP on the website, that would be fantastic. So yes, on New Year's Day, so January 1st at 7 p.m., we are having a community New Year's Day circle in our community space, which is literally down the sidewalk from the shop. So the shop is, kind of like, it's called like Moonlit Surf green, okay, kind of a dark green color. You can park anywhere, around the shop. You can park in front of the community space, which is that beautiful, like evil eye Turkish blue, okay, and then you'll come in the green double doors that come into the community space. And it starts promptly at 7, so come a few minutes early just to give yourself a chance just to kind of get acclimated, get your pillow or your yoga mat set up or whatever. We do have yoga blocks. We've got some like little bolster pillows. We've got yoga mats for about, I think we have like 12, maybe we have more. But if you have your own yoga mat, or you want to bring like the quilt or a meditation pillow or anything like that, whatever you would like to bring to feel comfortable, you can do so. Okay. But yes, get there a few minutes early, RSVP on the website, which our website is innerperfect.com. Click on the calendar or on the first page. Like I've tried to put it in several places on the website. Go to the event page, and just click RSVP at the top and you'll be set. It doesn't cost anything to RSVP. It's just letting me know how many people to kind of anticipate for. And I am, we'll be accepting donations for an energy exchange if you are feeling abundant and would like to pay it forward for, my time and this use of the space and all of that. And, we can take care of that when you come to the circle. We do Venmo. I'll have my little credit card reader. Cash is great, so whatever you want to do. Okay. But yes, New Year's Day at 7 p.m. in the community space. New Year's Day. We're going to start this year off in an awesome way. And I would love to spend that time with you all and be supportive, and really kind of circle together. All right. So does anyone have any questions or comments before we kind of wrap up this energy update? I always want to pull cards. I'm like, and now for this portion, I could maybe like pull one. Just one. I have to tell myself I'm going to pull a sacred traveler. Okay, so let me shuffle these cards and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions or comments while I'm shuffling. And I'm going to pull. I'm telling myself more than you that I'm just going to allow myself to pull one card. one card that will help us navigate the next few days leading up to the start of 2024, leading up to Mercury direct, Jupiter direct. So it is just a little bit of maybe what we would need to focus on energetically speaking, like housekeeping, house clearing, making way for all of these new opportunities, this good luck, this good fortune, this good energy that is coming in. What do we need to know? What is it that will be most beneficial for us to either be aware of, release, focus on over just the next couple of days, okay? Because yeah, today's the 27th. And then Monday is New Year's Day. So between now and let's say Sunday, okay, what do we need to know? And this is the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck. It's Denise Lynn. This deck was gifted to me several years ago. And for Christmas for myself, I got myself 2 new tarot decks. And they're just like... they're like classic tarot decks, but one's holographic, which I'm really excited about for some reason. And then one is like oversized, like big, just like, they're navy, but they're like black and white, you know, they're very stark. So, I want to like do some crystal grids or something with those big cards. So anyway, yes. And Martha Smith says, yes, she's been doing shadow work, looking forward to new beginning. Yeah. Just like, I mean, really, like this last less than a week, like just like use it just to like let it go, release, right? Like we are getting ready. We are getting ready for some new energy. So make as much room for that as possible. Okay. So let's see here. What do we need to know? Nice. So this is the Finding Sanctuary card. Showing Instagram and Facebook here. And this says opening to your spiritual source. And so I got all moody in here with my candles and stuff. This card has you know, see kind of like snowy mountains off into the distance. We have clouds, but then we have this beautiful castle, right? And it's kind of like our, you know, it's our sanctuary. It's our kind of our special place, but it's like in the clouds, right? And opening to your spiritual source. I feel like this is addressing maybe for some of us or some of you where it's just kind of like coming down from the holidays, you know, and, you know, kind of feeling the maybe intensity of like the full moon. And then, you know, as like these retrogrades have just maybe brought up so much and we're kind of like, you know, kind of getting on the tail end of all of that review and inventory and addressing things from the past, you know, that we've been doing. And then it's kind of like, all right, like the year is coming to a close. You know, what did I get done? What am I ready for, you know, coming up with 2024? But I feel like this Finding Sanctuary is addressing that we do still, I mean, really anytime, but we do still want to make time for that sacred time, for that solitude, for that like not doing, not interacting, not talking, not going, right? Of just like rest, you know, meditation, decompressing, self-care, all of those things. But I feel like this is also kind of speaking to as we are, you know, kind of, it was like as the dust is settling from all this kind of upheaval or like I said, like review of the past, you know, like all of that we've been doing. And maybe, you know, some of us have had like some challenges that were like, how did I get through that unscathed? Or maybe I'm slightly scathed, but you know, I survived. You know, that we want to kind of get our focus and our intention and our energy back in that state of sacredness, back in that state of remembering that we are the universe experiencing itself as humans, right? So, you know, with, you know, chaos or mishaps or, you know, old patterns or lessons or things like that we've been processing through. I mean, it can be a lot. You know, I'm not trying to just be like, all right, get over it, like move on, you know, but it's just saying like as we're kind of like, getting back center to where it's like, okay, now I'm charting a course for 2024. Now Mercury's going direct. Now Jupiter's going direct. We just had this full moon. Like, kind of, where do I want to aim towards? Where do I want my focus to be? And if it is a spiritually centered, and I don't mean like holier than thou centered. I just mean like giving yourself a little time for yoga, for meditation, for grounding, for like just like quieting, silencing the mind for a little bit so that you can remember who you are, so you can remember why you came here, what the next mission is, all of that. You're going to be able to use this springboard of this energy that we're getting in just a couple of days much more efficiently, much more impactfully than just being like metaphorically covered in like dust and grime and dirt and like tattered clothes, and like you're all disheveled and you're like, all right, here we go, 2024. What's next? So it's like kind of what you're bringing into this new start, what you're bringing into the new year, into this new energy. And as we know, every moment is new. Every moment, every day is a fresh start. But we kind of have in our brains like it's a new year, and I'm not even talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm talking about setting your intention for what you want to experience. Saying that you are deliberately aligning, first and foremost internally, but you are aligning with what you want to experience, because it starts with you. It starts with what you're feeling. It starts in what comes out of your heart center, out of your body, comes out into your auric field, and goes out to the people who are next to you, the situations, the vibes that you're in your room, and out into the world and out into the cosmos. So you can set the tone. And if you're coming from that kind of aligned, spiritual, at least spiritually remembered place, you're a human, you're awesome. We're imperfect, but we're perfect. But we do kind of have our navigational compass, not only in our heart center, but, we do have our higher self. We do have source, our guides, all of that. If if you work with those, and that's a great place to come from when we are setting the tone, setting the trajectory for the next adventure, for sure. So give yourself a little time for finding sanctuary. And really, we find sanctuary within ourselves, but sometimes it helps to be like locking the door in a bubble bath, or I'm going to go take a nice walk amongst trees and moss and wet leaves, and just let it go. It has been beautiful this last month or two. I've got to spend some time out there, and it just smells delicious, and it's wonderful. And we have so many wonderful resources here for you to find sanctuary and escape if you need it. So I feel like a lot of people I think we're feeling that 2024 is going to have some pretty magical stuff to it. So get ready for it and get excited about it. And don't carry like the old crap with you. Don't do that. Just be like, free bird, new adventures. All right, y'all. Well, I've been talking for about almost an hour, for about 50 minutes, which is actually kind of a shorter live. Sometimes I really go. But it has been lovely interacting with you all and being with you here virtually. I still love my magical microphone that changes colors. So I hope that you all have this good in-between week between Christmas and New Year's. You do find some rest, some rejuvenation, and start letting those intentions bubble up and see what you are ready for when 2024 kicks off. I love you all, and happiest of holidays, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.